Today we're going to construct an Excel chart with two data series but vastly different scales. We can see we've got a range for x squared here which goes from 100 to 0, and we've got a straight line y2 equals 0.04x minus 0.1, and the data only goes from minus 0.3 to plus 0.5, so vastly different scales. So if we insert a line chart, this is the shape, this is what we get. Let's just move the legend out of the way to the bottom, and let's just increase the size of that graph so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so the x squared graph looks as we would expect. If we look at the x-axis though, that's not quite what we're looking for. What we need to do is to select the right data for the x-axis, so on the horizontal. So if we select minus 10 to plus 10, then we get the x-axis as we would expect. Let's see if we can get a greater definition of the straight line. So if we go into layout, and here if we select the Y2 series and then we do format selection, and let's say we want a secondary axis. Okay, so that brings us up an x-axis from 0.6 to minus 0.4. I didn't really like that because I'd like to go from minus 1 to plus 1, and that will make things a bit more sensible. So if we select here on the secondary vertical axis and we say format selection, we're going to go from minus 1 and we're going to go to 1. Okay, so then that looks better there. And then on the primary vertical axis, I want us to go from to 100 because that's the data that we've got. Okay, so we're looking a little bit better there. The other thing that we can see here is that on the x-axis the numbers are off with the tick marks. Again, if we select the horizontal axis and we say format selection, there's an option here to position the axis on the tick marks, which is what I would like to do there. And the other thing that I'd want some grid lines. So if I select there and say add major grid lines, we get those. I don't like the style, so if we go to the major grid lines and again we say format selection, let's use a little dotted line style, and we get that. So we're looking a lot better. The only other thing that we need to do is to add some axis titles. We want one down here on the major axis, so if we say the primary vertical axis, we say a rotated display, and we can just put scale for Y1 and click off that, and then if we do a secondary vertical title, not like that, rotated title, and then we can say scale for Y2. Perfect, all done.